Hi, I'm Peggy Kelly with the Mighty Santa Paula Times, and it's Thursday, July 29th, and I am here with Jonathan Royes, who is the City of Santa Paula Public Information Officer, Management Analyst, and doer of all things and expert on all subjects. So that's why we have him today. And nice seeing you as always, Jonathan.
See you, Peggy. How you doing?
Good, good. Glad you could join us today. We appreciate it. We know how busy you are. So Public Works, I hear there's a lot going on. You're taking it to the streets. So what's happening?
Yeah. You know, we haven't talked about Public Works in a bit, but I know that in conversation right around town, that's one of the number one topics that always comes up in Santa Paula. And I mean, you know, rightfully so, right? I mean, you drive around and you feel that there are a lot of roads, especially the main artery in the city, which is Harvard Boulevard. And you're kind of like, what's going on here? And why hasn't the city fixed the road yet? So believe me, Harvard Boulevard is on the list, and that work is gonna start and kick off here later this fall. So that is on our list. But I have some exciting news about some other road work that has been occurring in the city and actually just finished being completed in July.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have a list, a magic list you'd like to share with us so everybody can drive on it?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to go check them out, you'll notice in some of your neighborhoods, one of the first pieces is our citywide street maintenance project or plan. And what that basically encompasses is identifying streets throughout the city there's a master plan for all the roads. And what we did is evaluate the condition of all the roads in the city. These particular roads in particular they got to a point where they required some type of road work or maintenance to help increase the longevity of those roads. So for instance, let me give you an example. If you look at Harvard Boulevard right now and you're driving, you'll notice there's tons of potholes and a lot of issues, right? That road, the reason it's taking so long to make that project move forward is that's going to require a complete deconstruction and ripping up of the ground on Harvard to get that to where it needs to be. Whereas in these smaller street areas on your city, your normal neighborhood roads, etc., they haven't gotten to that point yet. And so what the city's trying to do is evaluate, it actually costs the city pennies on the dollar to help extend the life of those roads versus waiting until those roads get to the point like Harvard Boulevard, where now it costs millions of dollars to try and fix those roads. So that's why when the question gets asked, you know, well, why are they fixing these other roads? They look pretty good to me. Why are you spending the money there? It's because we're spending our dollars wisely. We're spending your tax money wisely in the city here and making sure that we're increasing longevity of those roads. So some of the roads that we just finished working on you'll find on Santa Ana Street, Tierra Court, Lusada Street, Cornell Drive, Colgate Street, and Dartmouth Drive. So we just finished doing that work here in July.
And you know, and they're all named for colleges, for universities. I
did not know that. That's, I mean, the Dartmouth one, I get that one, and Cornell, obviously.
Colgate.
Yeah.
You know, so I think most of them, I'm not too sure about Estigra, but one never knows, maybe in Spain.
Yeah, hey, so you know, check out those roads. Hopefully the residents in those areas have seen the improvements and they're enjoying those new roads, and those are now going to help last us for probably another 5 to 10 years without having to work on them again. So
now, when do you think they might go ahead and tackle Harvard? I know is that tied in with any sort of a piping project or anything? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, that's a great question, Peggy. So it actually is. It's a complete rework of Harvard Boulevard in terms of the infrastructure that's there. So not only is it encompassing the roadway, the road work and the pavement on top, but it's also the sewer systems and the water systems that are in those grounds. And then there's also been conversations about, you know, whether or not we put like broadband conduit or fiber in there as well. But it's a very extensive project.
How about, is there any plans or any indication they might go underground utilities as far as the electric goes and things like that, since they're going to be perhaps doing broadband or anything like that?
I haven't heard anything regarding the utility systems, so forgive me on that one, but what I do know is that there is heavy work being done on the water and sewer line system.
Okay. Yeah, yes, good. And what else are they doing? What else? What other roads are we traveling on? What's going on with more road work? Let's.
Yeah, the larger roads, two of the larger roads that many of us are familiar with are Peck and Faulkner Road.
Mhm.
So those also had similar treatments to what was done in the previous projects that I mentioned with the city roads. Again, similar type of situation where we're just going in and helping stretch that dollar and making sure that we repair those roads so that they last us for years to come and they don't get to a point where we really have a big mess on our hands.
Absolutely. How many miles of road do we have in Santa Paula? What is it, like 55 miles or?
That's a good question. That's a great trivia question.
Well, I'll keep it.
I'm glad we're not playing for money.
And so do we have any sort of a time frame on Harvard Boulevard or?
From what I understand, it's expected to start in the fall here later this
Say that
couple of months. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And of course they'll be sure to let everybody know because that is a main artery. Now, also the funding source on that, can't they also get more funding on that because of the fact it is considered a major artery?
That's a great question. So originally that the Harvard Boulevard project started off at about a $25 million project. And over the course of the years with and working on that project with construction costs the way they are and an increase, I know that there's been conversations on having to, scale the project down to certain, specifications to still get the road work done, but making sure that we obviously have it in the budget to do it. So one of the things we did is you probably heard a lot of the federal and state stimulus funds that are out there. We reached out actually to Senator Feinstein's office to see if she would be able to assist us with some monies towards Harvard Boulevard. And unfortunately, we just heard back last week that while they appreciate it, her office actually came out and checked out the roads and checked everything out. But there's some other big projects. And she, by the way, represents obviously the whole state of California.
Like,
So
Santa Paula's, yeah, not the only place with a lot of potholes, unhappy residents.
Exactly.
Roads are almost chronic everywhere throughout the state,
Yeah.
No, well, we will get them done though. That's the main thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the good news, right? So
Absolutely.
the guys are out there. If you've been on those roads, you've seen them, they're working. So yeah, they're out there and there's a plan in place.
Okay, great. And also, I guess Public Works has also been very busy with a membrane project.
Yes, yes. So we've had in our water recycling facility, there's the water recycling facility essentially takes the waters that come through the sewage systems in the city and helps purify and clean and treat them. I shouldn't say purify, it is more like treating the water. And these membrane systems that are there treat the water, and then the water is injected back into the ground, which goes back into the aquifers. So for a time there, those membranes they hadn't been working as effective as they did when new. So, the goal in replacing those was really to make sure that the sewage water that was being treated was going back into the ground as clean as possible. And now that project has been completed, it's great news to hear that we're helping put that purified water back into the ground, and then that'll help agriculture and all the farmers around us.
Yeah, because even as it's processed, and then even just going down to the aquifer, it's naturally processed again. So
exactly.
Any other? I know they're looking at maybe doing some sort of a chloride plant. I know they've been looking at doing something about that to remove the chlorides from the water.
I'm not familiar with that particular one, but I just do know that there's a lot of water work occurring in our city, and they're always working on different things. And I think that's also indicative of the federal stimulus monies that came down, and they attributed a large portion of those funds. They basically told cities you can utilize those funds for specifically water, sewer, and broadband.
Yeah, boy, well, I'm really happy to hear that because we certainly need to get working on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's too bad they didn't say roads, but what the heck? Well, we're taking.
Right? Well, you know, we're keeping our fingers crossed, right? So more to come on the infrastructure bill that the president has spoken about, and
Yes.
yeah, they're still working things out. So
Great. That's great.
yeah.
So, what else is going on, my friend?
You know, I wanted to make sure everybody this week knew about our public works initiatives and some of the great work that their team has done. A lot of the times, right, we hear about the roads, and those guys and our groups are out there working hard. In the heat, it's getting hot. And you know, if you see them out on the streets, you know, just you know, give them a cheer and recognize them for being out there and helping improve our roads, because they're obviously out there doing a great job. So.
Yeah, well, and I know that, and it's not overnight work. I mean, they've done a great job just doing, patching and things like that. I mean, they get out there and try to do as much as they can. And
Right.
of course, people always have the option to call the city pothole hotline.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Just check at sbcity.org, or is that what it is? sbcity.org?
www.spcity.org.
Yeah, and they've got the pothole hotline number that you can go to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else going on that we should know about? Any last thoughts?
I think that wraps it up for this week, Peggy.
Great. Well, we appreciate it, Jonathan.
Well, yeah, anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you. And everyone out there, you have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget, you can watch this on kadytv.com. It's also on Channel 10 on Spectrum Cable 10. And if you go to YouTube and watch this, be sure to hit that you want to subscribe. It's free and it helps us bring you more broadcasting like this. And once again, I'm Peggy Kelly, and have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Jonathan, best to you and your family.
Thank you, you guys as well. Thank you.